Alright guys, hello everyone. Welcome to my casual late night build streams. If you've been here before, you know that it is indeed pretty casual. I just kind of sit here and listen to music and build a keyboard. And you come along for the ride. Possibly with some adult beverages. Which I don't have any right now. I should have grabbed some beer first. I feel kind of stupid actually. I'm almost out of whiskey and I'm totally out of beer. Which is really depressing. I wonder if my girlfriend will bring me some home. Show your tits? Why? I don't want you all to climax simultaneously. Send the cat to get beer? That's a good idea. Beer break? I could. I don't want to leave though. I'd have to like leave the house and I don't know. Maybe I'll just not drink this stream. I mean, I did just have a beer, but oh well. Alright, anyways, thank you all for coming out and hanging out with me. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the camera angle so you guys can see what's going on. Sorry for the vertigo. Oh. Oh, see the weaving? Alright, there you go. That's the weaving. Trying to get it like in a good spot for everything. Yep, that's the weaving. Brian's Vertigo Simulator, that's right. What's on the floor? Dude, like 1,000 different keyboards, that's what's on the floor. Do you guys like the crotch shot? I have so much to show off there, you know. Do I leave the Kales before the weaving? No, these are also stock Kale coppers. Like I said before, I like to use stock switches before I tune them, so I have an idea of what they feel like stock and how I might want them to change. So it's always something I can go back and lube. It's not a problem. So if I decide to lube it or change the springs or whatever, then I can try that later. But for now, I like to use it stock. Yep, brass plate. That's what I'll be using today. My first time with a brass plate, so that's going to be pretty fun. Stabilizers, that's what I need. One second, let me find my bag of stabilizers. The all-powerful bag of stabilizers. Maybe I should just move it up a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing with my hands. One. Not two. Some of these are plate mounts, so I have to like... I need to actually go through these and organize them soon. That's a plate mount. What layout do I want to do, guys? I'm definitely doing 7U bottom row. That's happening regardless, so keep that in mind. Do I want normal backspace? Do I want split backspace? Why do I have so many plate mount stabs when I don't use them ever? Does anybody just need like a lot of plate mount stabilizers? Because I have a lot. Just like the Weave 'em with split backspace. Yeah, that's what I do most of my keyboards in. Split everything. Okay. Okay, so that means I need spacebar, left shift, and enter. I don't really want to. I don't want to do split left shift for this. Actually, funny story. So originally, when I got this, I had completely intended to do a Nordic ISO in honor of Leandrin, who owns Mechanics, the company, who made this amazing thing possible. So I had intended to use the Nordic ISO layout, but this PCB and the other ones that I have do not support the ISO enter, and that really bummed me out. So what I'm going to wind up doing is at some point I'm going to buy a PCB that does, and then I'll buy another plate for it, and then I will essentially do a different build in it. So I mean, the beauty of cases like this is it's totally drop-in. So you know, you can take out your plate and PCB assembly and move them from different keyboards to different keyboards. So you know, this is beautiful the way it is. Shout out to Leandrin, absolutely. Hopefully he'll be tuning in at some point. He said he probably will. Alright, so if I'm splitting backspace, I need enter, left shift, and spacebar. So I only need 3. I am going to lube these, so I'll have to go get some my brush, a little tray in a second here. So many builds, dude, I know. Oh my god, you have no idea. It's like every day I feel like I'm building a board. So I'm gonna set this beauty aside, but hopefully still within camera shot somewhat. What? I will not lube these later. I'm a firm believer in lubing them before they go in the build. You guys like this porno jazz music? I'm kind of digging it. Alright. I just ran out of my last tube of Super Lube, so I got a fresh tube here. I'm going to grab my brush and a little plate. I'll be right back. Actually, jackpot, I still had a little bit of lube left in this plate. It might be enough to do a lot of these. Just got my iFixit tweezers here that I will use on the smaller inserts. For now, just gonna separate these a bit. I like to lube the housings first. Lubing them before, how come? So you get way better coverage? Wait, is that a real question? Why would you ever lube them afterwards? When you lube them before, you can actually lube everywhere that you need to lube. Clip and lube or just lube? Or oh, good call. I forgot to clip them. 1 second. Got my flush cutters real quick. I pretty much always clip and lube stabs. It's just like habit now. They just feel a lot better. They sound a lot better. They don't sound like anything, which is good. That's what you want. Usually, if you don't at least lube them, they can rattle. You can hear them a little bit, and I don't really care for that. So I just always clip them and lube them. because it doesn't take that much time, and you get a pretty big return of it, honestly. Alright. Bam, clipped. See, easy peasy. Look how easy that was. Band-Aid mod? You know, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Lately I don't, because I don't care to take the extra time. I don't feel like it gives you as big of a return. I think it's nice, it does help a little bit, but to me it doesn't make a big enough difference to matter. But I'll do that on another build and show you guys if anyone's interested. Who doesn't clip stabs now? It's a good question. I don't know. There's some crazy people out there, you know? Please don't rest the brass plate on the case. Are you triggered? Man, you get triggered over the silliest stuff. Like, honestly, it's fine. Hey, look, it's all still fine. Weird. Isn't that weird that it's all still fine, Ted? Isn't that crazy? So weird. Digisax nailed it there on that analogy. Clipping and lubing is like the exact opposite of stickering. You get a huge return for not that much work. I'm always sassy, that's right. Yeah, this music is just like a jazz, royalty-free jazz playlist. Someone has something else to recommend that's also royalty-free, so that way Twitch and or YouTube doesn't mute or remove the video. Then I'm all ears. I'd prefer something a bit more electronica, like Chill Step or something. Tell you a story? I don't know about that. I don't really have any stories that are very good. I can never like think of one off the top of my head. It's always like something reminds me of something, and then I can tell you. You always lube things before you stick anything on or in them? Not me. I go in dry, you know? I think it's just, I like more of a challenge. So, yeah, that's just who I am. The song doesn't really seem very jazzy. Man, I can't believe I'm building the FJELL! What was my first key set buy? Tell the story of how I got into mechanical keyboards? Okay, you know, that's fair. Let me just catch up on this chat real quick. See a pluggable mouse? Dude, this thing is so sexy. Good stuff. Well, let me answer this question and I'll tell you how I got into mechanical keyboards. What was my first key set buy? That's actually a really good question because I don't know. I don't remember. That was a while ago. I'm pretty sure it was a DSA set. No, wait. Oh, it was DCS. It was like my first like serious key set, not just like some like crappy OEM set. So I might have had a set of Tai-Hao at some point. I don't even remember that long ago. Green Tea DCS used to be like the key set that everyone wanted. It was crazy. Like it went for like so much money on the aftermarket. It went for so many hundreds of dollars. This was before GMK was like really like a popular thing, or it might have just not even been a thing at that point. I guess no, about 2013, 2014. Yeah, it was Green Tea DCS. I absolutely love that set. I did wind up selling it eventually. It took me a long time to get my hands on it because it was just so rare and everyone wanted it. The story of how I got into mechanical keyboards. You know, it's really not even that interesting. It's really similar to other people, I imagine. I used to be really big into the PC community, building custom PCs and you know, the stuff that just surrounds them. And obviously, one of the most important peripherals is your keyboard. And so when I got into PCs, I bought my first mechanical keyboard because I had read a little bit about them, and I was like, oh shit, that sounds legit. Like, it's gonna make me better and stuff. And, you know, of course I bought into the hype a little bit, and, you know, it's just how it goes. But, so I got a Cooler Master Quickfire Rapid with MX Blacks. Not many people starting on MX Blacks. But I was like, you know, I type pretty heavy. I wanted something that could stand up to that. And so that was my thought process. And I read a little bit about key switches, and I made my decision. And then that's what I got. And then I had that board for like a couple years before I even got into the keyboard community. So not really a whole lot to tell there. I was just really into computers. And it's kind of a natural segue. Then I got I liked the keyboard, and I got another keyboard because I wanted to. I used to be like into the RGB thing, you know, in like 2013 or 14 or whatever, when Razer launched the K70 RGB, and they also had a K65 RGB. I managed to pick up a K65 on Hardware Swap, the RGB version, for like $90. It was like a really good deal for how new they were, and I picked that up. It had like MX Reds or something in it, and I was like, I don't really like these, to be honest. But, you know, I kind of dug the board at the time, and then, but like, even though I didn't like the MX Reds, it made me really curious that there were so many other key switches. I was like, you know, how can they all feel like really different? And so I bought a Poker 2 with MX Browns. And I was like, you know, I got it, and I was like, holy shit, this is the truth. Like, the caps, like, actually feel pretty good. It's so tiny, 60%, such an interesting form factor. And, like, the MX Browns in that board, honestly, like, they felt kind of nice. So I used that board for a while, and it was just all downhill from there, honestly. And then about a year later, I was like, what are these custom keyboards that people are building? And so I learned a little bit about that, and I had a couple people help me and got me started. And yeah, it was good stuff. Can you tell us the story of how you broke up with a girl that told you she loved Razer switches? If that were a true story, I would absolutely tell it, because then it would actually be funny. DCS is still pretty nice. Yeah, dude. There's nothing wrong with DCS. The thing about DCS is people give it so much crap, like, because it's a thin profile, and people equate thin just like they equate light on keyboards. They think it's crap quality because it's not super heavy or super thick, and, you know, that's kind of the wrong way to go about it. Honestly, like, quality, like weight, I can kind of understand. a little bit, because like more metal obviously means it costs more to get manufactured, and that's just kind of like, that's a selling point. But you don't need caps to be super thick, and you don't need keyboards to be super heavy. Like, they can be premium in other ways. So I get kind of pissed when people just say DCS sucks because it's thin, especially when they never used it, because like the sculpt itself is actually quite nice. It's curved really well, and the caps look pretty nice. So I don't know, people hating for no reason, and I'm not really a big fan of that. I'm gonna go wash my hands real quick, because no matter how much I try, I still always get a little bit of lube on them, so I'll be right back. Alright. What did I miss? Yeah, exactly. People hate on the HHKB because it's light and has a plastic case. I mean, honestly, I think the quality could still be a little bit better on the HHKB, but I don't think because it's light, it's crappy. Like, if you have, like, really, like, good quality plastic and, like, it doesn't really flex and stuff, then, like, that's pretty nice. And talk about the wisdom behind lubing switches and how it changes the feel of a key switch. How essential do you think lubing is to the keyboard experience? That's a pretty deep question. I mean, the wisdom behind it is pretty basic. It makes the switch smoother, and smooth for switches tends to be directly correlated with quality. So a smoother switch is typically better. People tend to prefer smoother switches over scratchier ones that are comparable. So that's pretty much it. A lot of switches on the market, in fact most of them, aren't that smooth in the grand scheme of things. So people like me like to make them a little bit smoother. It also affects the sound a little bit. So, oh crap. Usually lube switches are quieter. That's kind of just how it is. So, I mean, it's all up to the end user, honestly. Some people like it, some people don't. Like Zelios, for example. I actually think Zelios are smooth enough, usually, to not require any kind of lube. So I actually prefer the stock experience on Zelios, because I think they feel and sound pretty good already. I mean, I don't think it's like a necessary thing, but I think it's something that people should try if they have the chance. Gotcha-gasm. Zeals come pre-lubed. I mean, it kind of depends on how you look at it. Technically, almost every switch comes pre-lubed. If you get Gaterons that have the clear tops and the black bottoms, they have lube on them. I think even Cherry switches have lube on them. But, you know, it's just a little, like a very small amount of lube, and it's usually just on the legs. And it doesn't really do, like, a ton, so it makes it a little bit more usable, but it doesn't make them like truly smooth. So when you lube a switch aftermarket, you tend to go a little bit more, like you lube, especially like on linears, like you apply a little bit more to the leg, and you do like thin coats on the walls of the slider and the rails, and some people like the springs, and there's more to it. So that's how it goes. Yep, exactly, Sovereign. Stock lube is supplementive, and aftermarket is transformative. I do have my soldering iron all set up since I was soldering earlier, so easy peasy there. I'm going to solder in a couple of these switches. I do want to solder in the stabilized ones a little bit, probably just one pad each, just so I can test the stabilizers after. Why is this switch not going in? Plate is really tight. Alright, there we go. I just bought some vintage blacks on Slack, and that has thick lube. If I were to keep the stems, how hard would it be to clean the thick lube off? Not hard at all. I mean, you should just be able to like wash them, even with just like some little bit of soap and water. I think you could soak them in like an isopropyl alcohol. I think that'd be okay too. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and solder these three switches in real quick. We'll move on to putting the rest in there. So let me warm up my soldering iron real quick. If you make a perfect, and when I say perfect, I mean a switch that would possess all the inherent qualities you desire, what would it be and why? Man, you're asking the deep questions, though. I don't know. Like it would be completely smooth. There'd be no unwanted friction. If it was tactile, it would have a very clean, round, tactile bump. That's very obvious. What did you miss? I haven't really missed a whole lot. I clipped and lubed some stabs, had just a little bit of an introduction, and yeah, now I'm just going to solder a couple switches in so it's stable. Are you going for standard 60% layout? No, sir. I almost always don't use standard. I'll be using a Sangon bottom row, split right shift, and split backspace, and I'll most likely do stepped caps lock also, because that's just who I am. Try putting the corner switches. Nah, I like to I like to do the stabilizer keys first. I don't know why. For me, it doesn't really seem to matter like which switches go in first, honestly. So now I got a couple of them soldered in, so it should be a little bit easier. I am going to test the stabilized keys first, just to make sure the stabilizers are okay. So let me just grab some caps for that in a second. Whatever key set I grab first is supposed to be GMK Stormtrooper. Yeah. That's not what's going to wind up going on this board, that's just what I'm going to test it with. Alright, spacebar sounds good. Now I just need to enter and the left shift. That's 2U, right? Yeah, that's good enough. Oh wait, enter's not. Is it 2U? It doesn't really matter, I guess. 2U stabilizer. Alright. Feel pretty good. No solder fan this time. I'll use it. I'll just use it when I actually, like, do the build. Not just solder in, like, a couple switches. Alright, let me reverse the bend, little bit of bend I put on the plate here. Alright. So that all went pretty well, so go ahead and put this keycap set away and start putting switches in. Why is there a Coper spacebar? I don't know. Actually, that's a good point. I'm gonna leave it in there though, just to trigger you. I bought this set from Huey. He accidentally left it in there, apparently. I knew it was in there, I just hadn't taken it out yet. I'm not sure what that was. Stormtrooper wouldn't be bad on the feel. Yeah, that's true. I think 9009 is going to look a little bit better, though. That's what I'm aiming for first. So the Kale Silvers are just a little bit scratchy at the top where the actuation happens. So right at that tactile leaf and the legs of the slider when they contact, they give a little bit of scratch. Like I said, I'll probably wind up not even using these switches stock for very long, anyways. I just wanna use them for a little bit. That's drum solo. This is pretty intense. Plug my stream and talk clack on the pluggable Twitter? Oh my god. Now we're getting real fancy. Part of the reasons I actually am using linears for this is because being my first time using a brass plate, I want to know what the experience feels and sounds like with a linear. I feel like you get a better feel of the plate and a better sound if you use a linear, so there's not like a bump to interrupt the sound or the feel at all. Know what I mean? You know what I mean. Alright. Let's put some switches in. Good night. Someone taking off? Visibility? Take it easy, man. Linear is delicious. That it is. That it is. How heavy is the brass plate? It's about 5 ounces. I weighed it, so the FJELL without the plate and without the weight, it weighs 3 pounds 3 ounces. With the weight, it brings it up to 4 pounds 6 ounces, and with the plate, it brings it up another 5 ounces to about 4 pounds 11 ounces. So fully built, this thing's going to be over 5 pounds, which is pretty impressive for a 60%. Man, switches are a really tight fit in this plate. Holy crap. Pressing these things like my life is depending on it. How jealous am I of Wodan and his monster supply of Nixies? Not that jealous. I've tried Nixdorfs before. They're cool. They're good. They're a decent switch, but they're not. They're really overhyped. They're only that popular because they're rare. Otherwise, it's essentially just a vintage black with like a slightly nicer spring. That's basically all it is, honestly. This tempts you to remove your keycaps for good cleaning. You should be cleaning them. You gotta take care of your stuff, man. Why is there like... Is this even a song? Oh, it's like live at somewhere. I'm gonna skip that and move on to this one. What's the best linear switch minus Nixies? I don't think Nixies are the best anyways. The best linear switch? I don't know, man. It's probably not even an MX switch. It's probably like an Alps switch. I mean, if you if you get your hands on some really good vintage blacks, they're incredibly nice. There's like zero friction even without lube. It's really impressive. But I don't know, man. I really like my tuned Gateron linears. I really like my Pandas, even though I don't think they're the best linear switch. If Pandas could be smoother, it'd be really good. What switches is he using? I am using the new FJELL silvers. So these are the new speed switches that FJELL sells. I have the copper version in this board, which is the tactile one. Not that tactile, believe it or not. It's still a really neat switch, though. Even though it's not perfect. I'm full screen on the stream. I took off my headphones, it stood up, and it stopped. What? You're gonna build your M65 with Zelio housing and vintage black stems. That's a pretty popular combo too. Yeah. At that point, I'd almost just use. I wouldn't even use the vintage black stem. I just use Gateron stems, or wait for the linear Zelios. I don't really see the point of using, because like a Zelio slider and a Gateron slider are both like basically as good as a vintage black slider. So I don't think you get a ton of benefit by using a vintage black slider with the Zelio housing. I'd probably rather just save the money and the work and the time. But I mean, hey, if it works better for you, that's what matters, honestly. I'm just some guy. Best clicky switch? Why is Fozen such a big deal? Fozen isn't a big deal. Fozens are bad. At least the first run of Fozens are not good. The newer run is theoretically better. Best clicky switch is probably like, I don't know, Zelio Stottles or something in terms of the MX switches. Because Alps has some pretty darn good clickies also. Vintage Hall Effect. I've actually never used Hall Effect, vintage or modern. So, could be. You're thinking of doing vintage black stems and Zelios housings for the Revo RJ. The Revo is intense, man. That's a sweet board. Kind of wish I could have afforded one. It was pretty much that or the X60, and the X60 happened way sooner, so I bought into that instead. But looking back, I'd probably rather have a Revo. Maybe I can try to trade it or something. Yeah, I'm waiting for linear Zelios too, man. Should be next round, theoretically. Is a solder fan required? Can I just open a window next to my session? Yeah, I mean, most people don't use fan. As long as you have some kind of circulation in the house, I think that's fine. Personally, I use a solder or a smoke extractor, fume extractor that's already on my soldering iron. And that's pretty helpful. That's probably like the best thing you can do. Yeah, I like that. A lot of people. My other suggestion would be just buy like a small cheap fan, and just like keep it blowing the smoke away from you. Just like set it off to the side, but have it blow the fumes away so you don't breathe them in. Yeah, a little bit. That's why it's better to have windows open. Alright, someone needs to find me a playlist, a royalty-free playlist. Something that won't get me muted on the Twitch VOD or have the video not be playable in other countries on YouTube. Because that was my issue last time. So someone wants to find a sweet playlist that we can listen to. Preferably something of like the electronic variety that's kind of chill. I would be most appreciative. Not disco, please. Getting closer, boys. Yeah, pretty much done with that one. Alright, let me look at this one. Royalty-free music by Trap Nation. It sounds like exactly what I need. Right? Alright, let's turn this on. Thank you. I appreciate it. Turn it down a little bit here. Is that too loud or too quiet for you guys? Perfect level. Yeah, this song seems to be pretty quiet right now too, so it might actually get louder anyways. I need some caps to test this this bottom row here, because for whatever reason I never remember. spacebar. Switch seems like a little crooked. Can't really tell though. Doesn't look crooked in the plate. Okay, looks a little bit better. Yeah, there are different types of vintage blacks. Different like amounts of usage too, which matters a lot. Like how much use they've had is like is probably the most important thing, honestly. Because most people think vintage blacks are just automatically good, but unless you find ones that have a lot of use, they're usually not very smooth at all. So do keep that in mind. A lot of people don't know that. Oh, come back, Cap. How do the silvers feel on the brass? I'm not sure. Haven't put caps on it yet. I still need to solder it. I just like to make sure these Kale switches do not come in PCB mount. They only come in plate mount. So I take extra time to make sure that the switches are straight, so that way I don't have to desolder and correct them later. This enter key in particular looks a little funky. The plate is so tight too. Am I soldering this soon, or did I miss the part where I put in hole tights? No hole tights for me. I'm going to be soldering this. Silver actually looks pretty against the brass. Yeah, it's going to look even prettier when the silver matches the, well, more or less matches the silver of the actual FJELL itself. So you know, there's that, if you guys didn't know. Alright. About to be in business, boys. These all look pretty good. Just gonna double check real quick. This is my weaving, yes. Gabe, what's up, man? Alright. Everything looks straight. Which means I can start soldering. Doing the soldering. Alright, so those that might not know, I do have a fume extractor on my soldering iron, and it does make a little bit of noise. It's not crazy loud. People usually seem to be totally fine with it, but just letting you know that's what the background noise is going to be. I do have all of these switches in. Okay. I'm going to double check, make sure all the pins are actually poking through the pads like they should be before I start. Sometimes if the pin is even bent a little bit and you press it in, it can bend it even more and not actually protrude through the hole. So I like to double check this before I start soldering. Thankfully the pins on these ones all seem to be pretty good. Alright, looks good. Alright, about to start solderings. But yes, that is my weaving in the shot. Are you gonna get one of these mice when they come out, Gabe? Pretty good mice, pretty good mouse for the price. Yeah. Well, I have it facing away my soldering machine now. I'm gonna turn it on now though, so hopefully it's not too bad. And as usual, I'll do like a row or something, and then I'll kind of poke up to see what the chat is saying. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. Shouldn't take me terribly long anyways. Good job on a playlist, by the way, whoever recommended that. One of these fume suckers. They're really helpful. Like I used to just like you inhale and then you solder a switch, then you exhale to blow it all away. But this is just like so much more elegant. Listen to that hum. Is ZJELL's worth the 80 plus premium? I mean the PCB? Probably not. The ZJELL RGB, ZJELL 60 PCB is so expensive, man. The only reason it's that expensive is because there's no direct competition. Aside from that one on Taobao or whatever, which actually does have quite a few issues. It's not as programmable as it should be or something. I don't know. I think we're gonna see more RGB PCBs hit the market soon. Honestly, someone's gonna, one of the vendors is just gonna be like, "Oh my God, ZJELL charges too much for this. I need to find one I can sell for under $100." That's my guess, at least. The thing about ZJELL is he puts he cornerstones so many things on the market, and ZJELL is really smart. He the Zelios project is genius. When he launched that, it was so ahead of its time because he had zero competition. There was nothing that competed with Zelios. what people were doing instead were just, you know, making ergo clears, which are good. Don't get me wrong, but like Zelios just like had such a big impact on the market, and he's doing the same thing with the PCB, the same thing with his gold-plated screw-in translucent stabs. Like Zeal just like he's the first to do so many things, and you know because of that, he's able to charge that premium, and people pay it. Like Zelios are like almost $1 a switch, like 75 cents to $1 a switch. That's so expensive. But you know what? Like he's killing it. It's doing well. Like even the competition that he does have, like with you know, for example, mod switches from Originative or something, like they just still can't compete though, because like they're not as fundamentally refined as a switch. So like he kind of has like a hammer lock on that kind of thing, and the same exact thing with the PCB. Like nobody's competing with him, so he just gets away with selling them for like $120 to $150, which is just outrageously expensive for a PCB. Digging this song. Alright, last row. What PCB am I soldering? This is just a B fake. It's what I use for like most of my 60% builds. It's nothing crazy special. It just runs the bootmapper client, which I prefer because I'm lazy. Yeah, there you go. The RGB60 has like no layout options. Has other issues too. Yeah, it's hard not to recommend Gaterons when they're so cheap. Almost there, boys. Alright, theoretically, I'm done. Theoretically. I always say theoretically, because, like, it usually winds up being, like, one thing I have to fix. Just go through and make sure that I got all the pads. Alright, that's good. I'm going to plug it in and do a little key test. Turn off my fume extractor for now. Not going to turn off my iron yet, because you never know. You just never know. But I am going to do a little Aqua key tester here. I'm going to open that up and make sure all these keys work. So pardon me while I take care of that. Man, that's a really tight USB port too. Alright. Alright, looks like we are in business. Alright, guess we'll put it in the actual FJELL housing, and then we will throw some caps on, most likely going with GMK 9009, most likely. I have the screws for this somewhere. Oh, here we go. Wait, what do you need me to decide for you? Should I install a CPU retention bracket on my Corsair H70 tonight or tomorrow? Wait, do you not have the retention bracket on there now? How does it work without the retention bracket? FJELL. It's the Mobo from the Steam machine. I don't know. Do it tomorrow. Who cares? Bruh. Who cares when you do it? Alright. Need my screwdriver. I need to not drop it. Oh my god, so heavy. Actually, those silvers do look pretty good against that silver case. Wait a minute. It's like caught on something. Alright, so let me line up all these holes. Lining up holes, you know, my favorite thing to do. Oh man, you notice? Actually, the holes for this don't line up completely. Or for one of these. Like, it's still totally beyond usable for someone like me, or for anyone really, but it's actually kind of interesting. This one left hole right here doesn't line up when you line up the rest of them. So I'll have to let Leandra know about that. Like, I'm the type of person that doesn't need all the screws in anyways. Really, nobody needs that because 6 screws is outrageous. Like, 4 is totally fine, 3 is totally fine. I even use 2 on some builds. That is going to be something I need to tell him, though. Let me just try to get it as straight as I can. And I won't put a screw in there, which is fine. I like when the assembly is incredibly straight in the case, so I make sure I line it up. It takes me a minute. Alright, that looks pretty darn good. So your silvers are alright. They're fine. I need to wait till I actually have caps on them and I play around with them. They do have a little bit of a scratch at the top that my production sample did not really have that much. So these are just a hair scratchier. I wouldn't say they feel awful. I think that might be something that goes away, honestly, after a little bit of use. And regardless, I'm most likely going to desolder and lube these at some point. So there's that. I'm not going to put... No, I'll put this one in, I guess. I mean, I often, like, take out the assemblies anyways, like, to do things with them, so... It's pretty common for me to only use, like, 3 or 4 screws, like, ever. Should I put on these little feet? And they're black. Won't that look, like, really clashing? Maybe I won't put these on right now, these little rubber feet, because I use a death mat anyways, so you know. Yeah, you could drop in an Alps build in this case. This particular plate I don't think supports Alps though. I'm not 100% certain of that, but the particular cutout style seems like it does not support Alps. But I could be totally wrong. I might very well be totally wrong. There's no switch top will be on this plate. There is switch top will be on this plate, but the Kale switch design does not allow for switch top opening. So it's a little bit different from a normal MX switch. See that side on there? There's no holes to put a switch top opener. So you actually have to open them from the bottom and like pry the sides open. So you cannot do it while it's in a PCB. Yeah, in terms of the smoothness of this, I think that's something that might go away after a couple weeks of use. That's what I'm hoping for. If it doesn't, then I'll probably pull them out and lube them. What plate am I using? This is the add-on plate that was an option for the FJELL. It's a brass plate. It's a universal brass plate that supports switch top opening from Mechanisk. Use the one from Centrek. Centrek has a brass plate? I actually didn't know that. Anyways, let's put some caps on this, you know what I'm saying? we're coming up on the end here, so I'm gonna put some of these caps on. I'm gonna start with GMK 9009 once I find it. There we go. Kips, damn right, Kips. Thank you guys for sticking around. Wow, 30 viewers. That's actually more than I thought I would have at this time of night. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. Alright, 9009 to go with this silver. Doesn't this look pretty though? Like, check it out before I put caps on. Like, the silver of the switches actually looks fairly good with the silver of the case. The brass is a really nice accent. Did you make a second round of 9009? I agree. Although you can pick up, or well, I guess you can't right now, GMK Muted by J Chan. GMK Muted is like a very similar kind of thing, but it's a bit cheaper. I also apologize in advance for me putting on caps because it takes me a while to put on caps. Especially I have some add-on kits for 9009 too, so it's like a lot of caps to go through. But the song is dope, so I don't really care. This song is baller. I need to save this playlist so I can listen to it again. I really dig it. I'm not going to use any of these like accent keys, I don't think. Oh crap. Wait, that's not accent, right? I'm kind of colorblind, actually. This is like it's hard to tell on this set sometimes. So once again, I apologize for my keycap prowess here, but this song is baller, so we're good, right? That looks like an accent key. I feel like I have like multiple accent keys in this set somehow. Like I have like multiple enter accent keys. I don't understand. What are you guys talking about in the chat? Is lubing brand new switches really bad? No, not necessarily. I like to experience them as they come from the factory, so I get a better idea of what they're going to feel like with some modding, and I kind of have a frame of reference. Typically I do lube my linears, so... Where's my normal enter? Am I crazy here? Use the pink one. Is this one pink? This one looked like... Oh, let me find the other one. This is actually crazy. I swear both of these enter keys look like accent keys to me. Like they look identical to me. I mean, that's definitely not the same color as the other mods, and neither is this one. Where's my normal enter? Wait, is this it? Oh, that looks... Ah, there's my normal enter. Praise the Lords. So we're good there. Man, my enter switch did come out a little bit crooked. I'll have to fix that later. I think it might actually be the plate, like where the enter switch sits. I'll have to maybe file that down or something. It's gonna bother me unless I fix it. But I won't bore you guys with that shit. The escape is accent? I know it is. I'm gonna swap it when I find the other one. Sorry, I crashed my car in your kitchen, but the song is baller, so it's okay. Damn right. The FJELL switch top, the FJELL plate does have switch top removal, but the switches do not support switch top removal, so I cannot do that. So I have like 2 accent escapes too. Like I don't understand. Wait, the new Kale switches don't have switch top removal? That is correct. They do not. Oh, I think I found the normal escape. I have nothing against accent keys, but I prefer the more traditional kind of muted thing going on. Am I bringing the FJELL to Seattle meetup? You're damn right I am. I'd be silly not to. You know what I'm saying? Where am I? The hell goes right here? It's like backslash or wait, it's pipe, then tilde, right? So I accidentally throw those back in. Where are you, pipe and tilde? Oh, wait, there we go. Just pipe. Is it pipe then tilde on the outside, or is it the way around? I kind of remember it being like that. Is it like that? Tilde on the outside. Okay, I got it right then. I always forget. I could have just looked at one of my other boards, I guess. Oh well. Sucks that 9009 doesn't have a mod colored tilde, but that's how it goes. Sorry for all the noise. It's not symmetrical. I know. I'm sorry. I'll have to deal with it because FJELL. Actually, the enter looks a little bit straighter now. That's weird. It's just a little bit off. I'll probably fix that. I think I'm kind of a perfectionist at some point, in some ways. Alright, move aside, Weavin'. There's a new board in town. Let me rearrange a little bit and I'll plug it in and do a little testy test. Just so you guys don't forget, this is the FJELL. All these little stickers I got with it. Alright, 9009. Looking fly, am I right? I'm gonna put cyan on here too, that might look pretty good. Outrage Pudding logo, damn right. Alright, let me double test it real quick with the key tester. Oh wait, hold on. Need to change a couple keys around. Hold on. Alright, now it's actually an HHKB layout. Perfect. Alright. Ballin'. Ballin' out of control. All the keys work. My desired layout is there. Now just time to do a quick little sound test for you guys in case you are into that. I'll try not to make this one too long. I know I went pretty crazy on my last one. Let me pause the music for a little bit. See what you guys are saying real quick. What decapsulates? This is GMK 9009. Yep, Ted answered that. It's not one of the first sets to come out. No, it's actually not that old. The GMK version. 9009 is actually a very classic colorway. It's an old... 9009 was an old cherry board, if I'm not mistaken. Ted can probably clear that up in chat, though. Typing test unzip. Alright. I'm not going to do a typing test. I'm just going to type a little bit. Move the mic a wee bit closer. Alright, guys. Oh man, sound really good. Yeah, this sounds really good. So, in my initial impressions of a brass plate, my very first brass plate, I would equate the brass plate a little bit more towards aluminum than anything else. It kind of nullifies the sound a little bit. It makes it a little bit more muted, which some people really enjoy. Yeah, it does sound really nice though. I definitely like it. No doubt about that. And of course, you know, the super thick metal housing Makes it a bit deeper, a little bit more muted. Makes it more 9009. Yeah. How does it feel? Feels actually pretty darn good. Initial impressions are, once I have the caps on it and I'm actually typing, you don't really get that scratch at all. You have to really feel for it to get that initial scratch. And it's really smooth throughout the rest of the press. So like when you're actually typing, these actually feel pretty nice. They are a little bit shorter, though. The full travel is 3.4 millimeters instead of 4 millimeters or something like that. The switches actually feel pretty nice. Kale is doing some good work, and for this kind of like breakout into these new switches, which are, you know, a bit off the cuff a little bit, and they feel good. Kale's doing some good work. I look forward to anything else they put out in the near future. The brass really does some amazing stuff there. Yeah, it's really nice. I can't wait for you guys to feel it if you're coming to the Seattle meetup. Did you make the switches? No, these are stock Kale silver speed switches. They're very new, really new to the market. I just got these in the other day. How much does it weigh now with switches? Time to bust out the scale. You got it, boys. The scale is here. Don't worry. Let me just yeah. I'm gonna guess. Okay, so without switches, stabilizers, and caps, this weighs about 4 pounds 11 ounces. So just shy of 5 pounds. What's everyone's guess here for how much this is going to weigh? I'm gonna say 5 pounds 3 ounces. Ooh, more actually. So I'm just shy of 5 pounds 5 ounces. So pretty darn hefty, that's for sure. Any 60% that's over 5 pounds is really quite something. Take the cable off. Whatever. So almost 5.5 pounds, or almost 5 pounds 5 ounces. I'm sorry. So that definitely makes it my heaviest 60%, and I believe it's. Wait, hold on. Let me weigh my ZZ96 real quick. I think this might be a little bit heavier, but obviously this is a 96 key. What's that in kilograms? I don't know. I only use freedom units. Oh wow, it's actually almost identical. So this is 5 pounds 4.7 ounces. This one was 5 pounds 4.6 ounces. So basically identical weight to a fully built ZZ96, which is, as you can see, a much larger keyboard. So very impressive things from Leandrin and Mechanisk. Good stuff. Really good weight here. Sell LS, please. What? You mean lightsaber? I don't have a lightsaber. That's a ZZ96. 2.4 kilograms. Yeah, man. That FJELL got a fat ass. I don't want to sell. I like my ZZ96. But give you guys a little final show real quick. Probably take off here pretty shortly. Some good stuff, right? Right. I like that weight. That weight design is really cool. For those that are just tuning in recently, this is number 5. This is 005. So I have the 5th FJELL out of, I don't know how many there are in this first run. I think there's like 60, somewhere in that ballpark. It was 50, but he wound up adding a few more, so I think it's around 60. Now put on the bump-ons? Nah. Maybe at some other point, but because I used a full desk mat as my mouse mat, I tend not to use bump-ons. Man, this thing feels pretty good. Gabe, if you're still in the chat, I think you should give the Kale Silvers a try on a full board before you decide you hate them. I think you might be pleasantly surprised. It did come with bump-ons. I do have them in here. I'm choosing not to use the bump-ons. They are black, which I think will clash a little bit with this. Although, I mean, they're on the bottom. You'll probably never see them. Oh, Gabe knows linears are the truth. I think he was a little bummed when he got his Kale Silvers. He didn't think they felt all that great. And if you're feeling them as a single switch, yes, they might not feel that great. But here, they're actually quite nice. And man, it just feels and sounds so much more premium because of the FJELL. Awesome job, Leandra, and I'm really happy about this one. Like, it's just so nice. So much metal. The angle's so nice. Profile is really high. Such a good stuff. Am I gonna bring that to the Seattle meetup? Of course I'm gonna bring it to the Seattle meetup. You think I'm not gonna show up with like my highest tier boards? You're crazy. Where does it rank among all my other boards? It's a tough question, man. In terms of just the housing, I would say it's the best housing I own. In terms of the board overall, with like switches and stuff, it's hard to say. This is really nice though. It's as good or better than I was expecting it to be, which is always a good thing. Is this my most expensive? No, not even. Yo, I might have a BKE Real Force at Seattle. This isn't mine, but it is a BKE Real Force. Let's see. What other boards what other 60% do I have? Got this one. Let me show off a couple of 60% just for the hell of it, you know. Little porn on stream. Oh no, I don't have all the caps on this one. Oh, that's right, I used the Skydolch mods for this. I need to put a different keycap set on this. Oh, these are most of my 60%. All of my 60%, I think. Maybe. I think these are all of my 60% right now. Pretty nice though. Right? So I got my FJELL and my hammer and my Weavin, my HHKB, and this is a custom using some pandas and the awesome aluminum AliExpress case and a carbon fiber plate. So this is assuming I get my X60 before the meetup, which will join these. These are my 60% that I'll be bringing to the meetup. I do have several other boards. I mean, obviously you saw my ZZ96, and I have a pretty nice Model M, and you know I have some Alps boards. I need to figure out something to do with my Hyperfuse case that I got from Jellymon. I'll probably put something in here to bring to the meetup. I do have GMK Hyperfuse, which goes nicely with that, as you'd probably expect. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure when the X60 will be shipping. Hopefully in time for the Seattle meetup. I'll also be having the M65, which isn't a 60%, but it's pretty darn close. So that will be quite nice, if I do say so myself. Zondat is trying. Yeah. I don't really know Zondat very well personally, honestly. I need to find a place to put my FJELL stickers, though. I'll definitely be driving this board for a little bit. Gotta fix the enter. Curve that just a little bit. I need to move my space bar over just slightly, too. Or it might be this cap needs to be moved over. There's like a little gap there. And, I mean, it's fine, but I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to switch placement. You want a hammer? Yeah, dude, the hammer is sick. The FJELL's better. FJELL's better, though. The hammer is really nice, but the FJELL is both heavier and, in my opinion, nicer looking. X60 before the meetup? Well, I mean, the X60 has been slated to ship for, like, eternity now, so... hard to say. I think RJ will ship before the X60. That's quite a possibility. I wouldn't doubt that at all. You can take my Hyperfuse case off your hands, off my hands. I don't know, man. I got that. Jollymon was nice enough to send me that, so I don't think I mean, if I were to get rid of it, I would give it away instead of selling it, since I got it for free. But I think I'm probably gonna use it. So I was using it for a while, but then I sold the PCB plate switch assembly that was in it. Now I just need to find something else. I need to find like a good plate that matches it. I'll put the music back on. $50 shipping for a board is definitely his fault. Yeah, but to be fair, I think a lot of that cost is, or at least some of that cost is not just from him to us, but like we're also kind of covering it from the manufacturer to him. Because like when you get a custom, like any custom basically, the shipping is always crazy. $50 is actually quite on the low end when you really think about it. Most custom TKLs and stuff are $70, $80, $90 to ship. In terms of like the group buy shipping price. I'm gonna move my camera back. I'm gonna be ending the stream here pretty soon. Just in case you guys want to see my ugly mug. X60 is going to be worth it. I hope so. I hope so. Last I heard, there was like issues with the the screw holes were too small or something. So I guess that needs to get fixed. LA meetup, come on down. I wish I could. If I had a lot more money, I definitely would. If money were no object, I would 100% come to most California meetups. Oh, it's 50. Wait, really? Okay, that's a little weird. Screwing holes is not the most recent excuse. I don't even... Oh, that's right, yeah. I don't even... And like right now, I'm still kind of at the point of not caring. Once it gets a little bit longer, I'll start caring a little bit more. I expected this group buy to be 8 to 12 months anyways. I never expected it to ship in 2 months or whatever he was claiming at the beginning. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Enough about Zondat. I just don't care right now. So anyways, I'm going to be wrapping up here shortly. Does anybody have any final questions for me before I take off? Actually, wow, a lot of viewers too. 34 viewers right now. It's past midnight Pacific time. Awesome. Thought for some reason I was going to do another layout. You're not wrong, actually. I was planning on doing a Nordic ISO layout, but the PCBs that I have sadly do not support ISO enter. So that dream was a little bit ruined for now. What do I program my Windows keys to? Windows. I actually use the Windows key. So that's me. I'm a freak. That sounds so good. I also think it sounds quite good. Alright. You haven't found a use for Windows key? I only use my left Windows key. I should probably change my right one to something else. I don't know. Man, this FJELL is so beautiful, though. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to take, like, nice pictures of it. Windows key R. I use Windows key D a lot. Because you know how I feel about the D. Learn how to program boards. Dude, programming boards is tedious. That's why I like these PS2 AVR PCBs, because you can just use Bootmapper Client from the WinKeyless site, and it's like so much easier. You just point and click. You just you point at the key you want, and like that's what you get. It's so simple. What do I think about this? The Face W Sprit PCB? I've only ever had one of them. It was fine. It's really similar. It also uses the Bootmapper client. It's really not too different from any other PS2 AVR GB PCB. So yeah, that's what I'm all about. I just changed your life with that. Yeah, I mean, I more or less understand like TMK and stuff, but like it's just I can program boards the way I want, exponentially faster using Bootmapper client than I can with, TMK. So, Well, thanks everyone for showing up. I really appreciate all the support, all the viewers. Hope you guys had a good time, like I did. Probably may go fix this Windows key because or not Windows key, but the enter. It's bothering me. Any closing thoughts or questions, guys? You tried once and bricked a PCB? Did you really? What PCB was it? Thank you, Shecky. I appreciate it, man. Fixed it on stream? Nah, man, it's boring. I might not even do it tonight. I might wait till tomorrow. It's not even that bad. It's just let me see if I can show it a little bit. It's just ever so slightly a little off. Shitty KC60. Oh yeah. Sits on a shelf. Are you sure you I feel like it's pretty hard to straight up brick a PCB beyond repair. There's usually a way to fix it. Are you guys saying E to the enter? Yeah, I tend to just use these B-fake PCBs because I usually find them for fairly cheap. Yes, bad enter. I don't know, it's a little off. That's fine, I'll fix it. I think I might need to file it down, because I tried turning it on the plate, and, like, I got it as far as I could, I'm pretty sure. Kind of sucks. It might be a plate issue, so I might have to actually file it down a bit. Alright guys, I think I'm going to take off then. Again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I did record the majority of this. I recorded basically when I started like getting into building. I didn't record all that pre-show kind of stuff. But I'll have that recording up on YouTube, my YouTube channel, which is just Quakeums. Or you could watch it, all of it, on the VOD on Twitch, which it'll be there for a little while. So hopefully it's not banned in any countries for the music. Should be good. So yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys later. If you want to see more of me because you think I'm really attractive or something, you should watch Talk Clack, my live show that I do about mechanical keyboards every week. That is on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so make sure you tune in to the chat. I have other co-hosts, and we talk about keyboard things, and we have a really good time. So if you're not aware of that, be aware of it. Twitch.tv/TalkClack. Bitches. Just kidding. I love you all. Deuces.